Okay, welcome to another episode. Uh, Before we start, I want to first of all say thank you so much to all the new viewers and all the new subscribers. Thank you so much. Uh, it tells me that I'm doing something right, and I promise I'm gonna keep making more videos, interesting topics of all your favorite subjects. Like I said in my channel description, I'm gonna talk about uh, sports, wrestling, entertainment, current events, anything that's interesting. I'm going to make this episode. We're going to go over No Mercy 2016, SmackDown's second exclusive pay per view or network special, as they call it now. And we're going to talk about so far why SmackDown Live appears to be the better brand, the more entertaining brand than Raw. And things went downhill, I guess, since Finn Balor got injured. It's there's a lot of reasons why Raw has been losing ratings, and they have. I mean, like I said in my other video, fans can make all the excuses they want. They could say the debate, the presidential debate, the football game, the basketball game, the baseball playoffs now, but if you look at the ratings, they have been steadily declining for the last year. Really, the ratings for Raw started declining after WrestleMania of last year, 2015. They've been in steady decline, and this year more so than ever. I mean, you can't dispute numbers, and you could spin it all as as much as you want. The brand split was a reason why the rating because they did that because of the ratings. Uh, Start off with USA. The USA Network wasn't happy with SmackDown's ratings. That's why they went live, and then they did the brand split. But I mean, I think the reason why SmackDown Live has been so much better, and nobody really talks about this, I think it goes under the radar, is the announcing. I mean, oh my God, uh, Raw has Byron Saxon, Corey Graves, and Michael Cole. And Corey Graves is he they put just brought him up from NXT. I think he's really good. He's a breath of fresh air. He plays the role of that heel announcer. I like him a lot. Byron Saxon, he's just oh my God, he's just he plays the the square nerd type, and then that's like Michael Cole's role. And Michael Cole, he has, I don't know, I think he's just getting worse and worse. I don't know if he's being told to be more quiet, but have you listened to his announcing the last month, 2 months? He sounds like he's falling asleep, or he sounds like he's whispering. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know if he's being told to to announce that way. I mean, not that he was ever anything special, but I mean, the Clash of Champions. I was watching it. I think I stepped away for a couple of minutes. When I came back, I thought something bad, somebody got hurt or something really bad happened in the show. That's how all three announcers, they sounded so quiet, like they were watching paint dry on the wall. How do they expect the viewers at home to get excited about what they're watching if the announcing is dull and uninspired? I mean, come on. I don't like Michael Cole. I never have. He was a twerp since day one. I used to love when The Rock used to abuse him. That was the fun. That's his career highlight, in my opinion. I really do think so. That's his career highlight when he debuted on Raw. He was a skinny little twerp, and The Rock would abuse him and make fun of him because that's what he is. He's an abuse case. And all those years, Jerry Lawler made him tolerable. But look at the SmackDown announcing, and I've said it before. Since day one, Mauro Ranallo has been great. Listen to what he announces. He gets into it. It's like he's a fan calling the action. He calls the moves. He emphasizes words, and he's calling the action. He's nonstop. That, as a viewer, gets me into it. I'm like, whoa, all right, yeah, okay, yeah. My eyes are glued to the action. But that's a big part of the reason why. But it's not the whole reason. I mean, SmackDown Live, they clearly have better in-ring workers. The in-ring action on SmackDown is much better. It is more action. It's geared more for fans who like wrestling matches, like watching the moves, and not to mention, I think the talent on SmackDown is better, top to bottom. Raw, it's the Roman Reigns show. He gets booed. He stands in the ring. He smirks. He beats everybody up. I mean, the only thing I could say entertaining about Raw is Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. They make me laugh. They're entertaining. This big angle they have with Seth Rollins and Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. Can you tell me that's a little entertaining? Stephanie pretends she didn't know Triple H uh, planned to screw Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins talks about Kevin Owens being a bad champion who takes shortcuts, and he had everything handed to him. I mean, who writes this stuff? Does WWE think that the fans can't remember past last week? Do they think that fans don't remember when Seth Rollins was champion last year? Because that, to me, what I just said described his whole run. He was handed everything. He always needed help to win. They booked him as a coward champ. But SmackDown, they have everything about it is better. The promos, the segments, entertaining. This week they had Miz TV. We'll talk about that. That was pretty entertaining with Dolph Ziggler. At least they go back. They do backstage action segments like the old days. You never see that on Raw. Never. All you see on Raw, as far as backstage, is some goof holding a microphone and asking boring questions to a performer. But I don't know. It's it's just, in my opinion, SmackDown right now is a much more entertaining show. And now Sunday they're gonna have No Mercy. This is gonna be the second exclusive pay per view, if you want to call SmackDown exclusive pay per view. And if you watched the last one, I liked it a lot. I didn't expect much, but it was short and compact, and all the matches delivered. I mean, it was good. So this No Mercy seems to be set up the same way. There's only a few matches. and I think they're gonna be all the matches are gonna be given time. And here's a good example: the Usos. We've known them as the Island Boys, Samoans. They had their colorful wardrobe, paint face. They were the rah rah, catering to the fans, but uh, they were boring, in my opinion. I mean, but now, guess what? They got a remake. Now they're heels, and they're much more interesting. Just the way they talk, they have attitude, and they're cocky. It's like you could relate to that. It's like seeing a modern personalities that you see on any other shows. And that's how people act. They got the cocky hip hop attitude type gimmick going on right now, and their wardrobe matches it. They have uh, dark black wardrobe with white sneakers. It has a cool factor to it. You can relate to it. But so let's. I'm gonna. I want to. I guess give a shout out to Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. I guess WWE announced that they are expecting a child, so that's the reason why they Brie Bella retired. 'Cause she said she wanted to have kids. So congratulations to them. But so they're gonna have. Speaking of the Bellas, Nikki Bella is going to be going up against Carmella. Uh, Carmella's been getting the best of her, and I don't expect Nikki Bella to lose on No Mercy. It would make no sense right now for her to lose to a up and coming performer. So I think it'll be probably a kickoff on the kickoff show, and it'll probably be 3-4 minutes, and she'll get the win. The other women's match is for the SmackDown Women's Championship with Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss, and Becky just she won the title, and she's popular. She's been popular for a while, so I don't think, and I guess I don't expect her to drop the title. It would make no sense for her to drop the title so quick. I think they'll give her a good run, probably until Survivor Series at least. And speaking of the Usos, they're going to be challenging the SmackDown Tag Team Champions of Heath Slater and the Rhino. As you know, Slater and Rhino, they caught fire. They were an entertaining act. Heath Slater's act as looking for a contract. He was very entertaining. They won the Tag Team Championships. But I think right now, I expect the Usos to get those titles at No Mercy, and I think they're setting up a future feud between the Usos and American Alpha. And you want to talk about another big reason why SmackDown's better is American Alpha. I mean, so far they haven't really been pushed and promoted like they were in NXT. But those two guys, Jason Jordan and Gable, they are exciting. And in my opinion, they both have bright singles careers ahead of them. They are two future superstars in my book. And even more so, Jason Jordan, I am very impressed with him. I'm really impressed with him. Just look at just when you watch their matches, watch Jason Jordan carefully. He looks like he has something special. I mean, physically talented. He's physically gifted in that ring. Let's look at the way he moves. Look at the way he executes the maneuvers, and he sells. He's okay. Now I don't know if his mic skills, both of them. That's always that could always be make a break, but I've been ranting and raving about Jason Jordan for a long time now. I see big things in him. I see him as being a future champion, a future world champion. I mean, he has it all, and that's where I think they're going to be going. I think the Usos are going to grab the tag team straps, and they're going to set up a feud with American Alphas. And then another entertaining feud that we've been seeing between Dolph Ziggler and The Miz. The Miz has been red hot as the Intercontinental Champion. He's found a new life. His wife Maurice as his manager slash valet, and she's looking real good. That's she equals ratings in my book, and she plays her role perfect as the she's was the always played the role of that ultimate diva, and then the Miz is a Devo, the male version of a diva. But the segments this week on SmackDown, if you watched it, the Miz made a mockumentary about Dolph's career failures, and then they had a Miz TV segment, which historically Miz TV is a boring. It's a cringeworthy. I mean, I think that's was the gimmick all along to Miz TV, that it was boring because the Miz thinks he's all that, but it's been entertaining lately, and he had Dolph Ziggler as his guest, and now they're gonna have a IC title. It's for the IC title, and they're gonna have it's title versus career match. So if Dolph Ziggler loses, he has to retire. But we'll get to that in a minute. But the Miz is telling Dolph Ziggler how he's always had shortcomings and he's been a failure. And this Sunday, the Miz is gonna put an end to his career. And lo and behold, guess who comes out? The Spirit Squad. At least two members of the Spirit Squad. I like this. I always liked the Spirit Squad. I thought they were funny. I got the gimmick. I mean, and they were pretty. They were okay. The ring. I always liked Kenny Dykstra, but we know what happened with him. And if you don't, yep, backstage politics. The rumors are that John Cena didn't like Kenny Dykstra, and he had him fired. So, but yeah. So anyway, the Spirit Squad showed up, and they started going into their old act of doing the cheers, and Dolph was like sort of embarrassed because it's always been a sort of a source of embarrassment that Dolph Ziggler started as Nikki from the Spirit Squad, and so the Miz is making fun of him, and Ziggler loses it, and he gets in the Miz's face. He's like, "You want to go now?" And bam, the Spirit Squad ambushes Ziggler. They beat him down. Miz and his wife leave the ring laughing. They continue to beat him down, but Ziggler makes a comeback, super kicks. He super kicks Jimmy, and that's how the segment ended. Now, just analyzing this, if Ziggler loses, he retires. But is he going to retire? There's been rumors that he hasn't been happy, but I believe he just signed the 3-year contract, so that's all work. If you're reading into that, if he does, let's say if they do go through with it, and he does lose and he retires, well, then you know what that means. He'll just show up to SmackDown. Right? I mean, to Raw, right? Wouldn't that make logical sense? They'll probably write in that he's retired from SmackDown, but he could show up at Raw, and they'll give him a contract. Or maybe it's just time for the Miz to finally lose, and maybe Ziggler will finally get the IC strap. It could be just a short run, and maybe the Miz will regain it, but who knows? If I have to make a prediction, I'm going to have to say that Ziggler's going to lose, only because the Miz, like I said, his act it's really good right now. He's hitting a high note. Him and his wife Maurice, and like I said, Ziggler could just go and show up on Smack on Raw. They're gonna do that uh, now and then. They're gonna have performers switch brands or jump brands. So why not now? I mean, Cesaro he's been uh, a performer on Raw who's been outspoken saying he isn't happy with his position. And if you look at what happened with the Best of Seven series, Mick Foley ruled it a tie, and he made him and he forced Cesaro and Sheamus to team up, and they haven't been getting along. But yeah, if I'm a betting man, I'll put my money on the Miz. It's he's just too hot of an act right now. And then we move on to Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. And if you've watched my videos, you know I've been outspoken about Bray Wyatt. I mean, he's got a lot of fan support. People like him, but he's been booked crappy. I mean, just look at his the last 2 years. He cuts scary promos every time he starts a feud with somebody. He's cut scary promos, just enough to make you think that he's gonna go over on his opponent, and then he loses. He always loses. I screamed my head off when last month he lost to Kane when he was supposed to face Randy Orton, but Randy Orton wasn't medically cleared, so Kane stepped in on the SmackDown exclusive pay per view, and Kane won. Why did Kane have to win? That makes no sense. They can't even give Bray Wyatt a win over Kane at this point in their careers. Kane's 45, 46. Bray Wyatt's supposed to be the young talent. I don't get it. I don't know what they have against Bray Wyatt as far as putting him over. I mean, how could you get invested in his character when he's a loser? He loses all the time. He never wins. How could you take him serious when he starts getting cutting these scary promos? And if you saw on SmackDown the other day, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Bray Wyatt's looking for Randy Orton in the arena in the back. Hey, like I said, at least SmackDown tries this, and it's different. You could at least suspend your disbelief for a second. So Bray Wyatt's in the back looking for Randy Orton. He's taunting him out, and he looks into a door, and he sees his rocking chair, and he starts laughing, and he walks in, and all of a sudden Randy Orton comes into the shot and shuts the door. Now, come on, you mean to? Yeah, that's a little ridiculous. I mean, Bray Wyatt didn't see Randy Orton right there. Well, he didn't suspect something. Come on. So then Randy Orton shuts him in there, and they have a camera inside this garage. It looks like. And Bray Wyatt's sitting on the chair, and all of a sudden he's talking to Sister Abigail. He's saying, "It's good to see you again, and take me home." And then they cut to a shot of that side. Randy Orton's listening in, and he opens the door, and oof, oh my God, Bray Wyatt disappeared. Where did he go? Oh, he used his scary powers. Okay, now I could believe it if Sunday Bray Wyatt beats Randy Orton. Now I could suspend my disbelief and say, "Wow, this guy's a supernatural character, and he's to be taken serious." But we'll see. We'll see again. But if I'm a betting man, the odds say you have to go with Randy Orton. How could you not? And then we come to the WWE title match. It's a three-way match between WWE champion AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose versus John Cena, and this has been great. All three performers have been pretty good as far as in ring action. They've been cutting good promos against each other, and this week I like the promo. They've been teasing John Cena tying Ric Flair for world championship reigns with 16, and fans a lot of fans who aren't Cena fans go nuts at the thought of John Cena tying Ric Flair. And if you remember 2 years ago when they were teasing it, they had to drag Ric Flair out of his house to cut a promo on Raw, telling the fans that he's okay with John Cena tying him, and you should be okay too. No, it's so transparent. Come on. Why do you have to have Ric Flair come out and tell the fans he's okay with it, so you should be okay with it? No, that's WWE's way of trying to tell you, see, you're wrong. It's Ric Flair is okay with it, so you could be okay with it. No, so it's fast forward to today. Fans still don't want to see Cena win the 16th time. I mean, he probably will, but they tease it. And if you saw the promo, they cut this promo like AJ and Dean were the voice of the fans, and AJ told them, "How dare you compare yourself to Ric Flair?" Dean told him to shut up. He's always saying the same thing, and all Cena could he stood there like, with his bad acting, and he says, "Oh, talk is cheap," and so they start brawling. AJ hits the springboard forearm. Hits Cena. Then Dean hits AJ with the dirty deeds at the outside. They each took a turn holding up the title, but I don't. The rumor is Cena's leaving again for an outside project, so he's not winning, and I definitely don't see Dean Ambrose regaining the titles. They're going to keep the title on AJ minimum to Royal Rumble, and at least maximum to WrestleMania, if not past. AJ Styles, whether you're a fan of him or not, or whether you haven't seen his work before WWE, he is one of the best, if not the best, wrestler in the world today. And you could tell when WWE pushed him so strong since he debuted. And they don't usually do that with outside talent that they haven't created. So, I mean, he's a no-brainer. AJ is a superior performer, and he delivers every time. Just look at all his matches; he delivers every time. But that's going to be about it. I expect a pretty good show. It's like I said in my other video. It's going to feel like a SmackDown episode with no commercials, and it's going to be pretty good. You just can't go into these pay-per-views or specials expecting the greatest show on earth or the greatest pay-per-view you've ever seen. You're not going to get it, but it'll be a good show. And I expect them. I expect the performers to deliver good in the ring. So, thank you for watching. And if you're a new viewer and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and check out my other videos. And thank you. Have a good night, and I'll see you soon.